Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys are young Dolph fans, if you're a PRE fan, and where y'all from. So let's get right into it, man. So I just seen the video where it was two people that came up to Makedas and they were like on their phones and everything like that. And basically they were taking pictures of the whole like left of the over the memorial. They seen it was like Dolph picture on one of the wood things on the window. And they looked down to the exact parking spot where Dolph's car was. And that's exactly where Dolph's car was. Nothing was cleaned up like in that parking spot area. But then next thing you know, they pan up and it was the people from the cookie shop that came out, literally opened the wood plank and came out of the store. Like they were actually remodeling the whole time inside the shop, cleaning out anything that could have been left over from the whole Dolph thing. And so like you never know if they missed something, like if there was something that they should have went back around and went into the shop and took a picture of, or they should have put it in one of the baggies and walked out and left to be looked at like under the microscope. So what y'all got to understand is that how long were they remodeling inside there? So like as soon as they put the wood planks up on the windows and made it look like it was boarded up, the whole time the lights was on for the sign. So they had the electricity on the inside. So somebody was, remember, I was telling you when they did that music video for Key Glock, somebody went in through that back door and literally turned on the front lights for Makedas for both signs. The sign in the parking lot by the sidewalk and the sign right on top of the door. So they were actually inside the whole time, literally like putting shelving up, repainting all the mess, and they said that they had the ceiling got damaged. How did the ceiling get damaged? If the ceiling got damaged, then that's the person who was laying on the ground and trying to like actually protect themselves hitting up. And so what y'all got to understand is that how is the ceiling messed up? How is all these different things messed up when they said that it's only happened in that front little corner with the two windows? And so they're talking about damage that's in a whole different actual part of the cookie shop. And that's what don't make sense, because that means there was more to it than what actually is involved. And now they actually have the hallway now. Before they had the offices, and now they have a hallway with no door. So as soon as you look over, it's like the hallway to go into the bathroom. You could see all of this because they were literally standing right there, and they got the new windows, but the wood boards was leaned up against the windows, like leaning to the building. They were still on the outside of the building, but they were like, is kind of covering it so that if you was to drive by on Airways, you wouldn't even be able to tell that they were open again until they did the whole thing where they came out and cut the ribbon and all that stuff. So, but before, when they were remodeling, these two people walked up and they caught everything. They seen them like actually sweeping, and this looked like it was the first time that they got in there after the whole being boarded up. And so this might have been like right after the Key Glock video where, remember Key Glock was out front, and I think they sent somebody who worked in there or something to go and turn the lights on. It could have been the janitor or anything, but that was at that time where they had paint buckets. You could see they had like all this different type of stuff to put on the shelf to cover up, like from where different things have flown around. Like you got to understand that this whole thing wasn't just a quick less than 1 minute situation. Like this could have been a whole 30-minute to an hour long altercation inside. And so allegedly a lot of people are saying that. And so that's all like, you got to put that into perspective and see like, okay, so if they had damage on the ceilings and they had damage over in this part of the cookie shop and over in that part, then it's like, why are they saying that everything happened in the front lobby, yet they had to get the whole back door and the hallway area remodeled? So that's how you know that something happened in all of the spots that got remodeled. You could come to that saying just because it's like, what was wrong with that spot the first time? They never said that anything was wrong with the cookie shop. Matter of fact, they got a whole new thousands of dollars camera system for the ADT 4K cameras before they got the actual remodeling done. So anything that they remodeled then was due to the fact of the stuff that got messed up from inside the shop. And so they wouldn't have got the ADT cameras and all that if they didn't need the back door to be reinforced, if they didn't need everything in the hallway to be redone. So that means everything was perfectly fine up until the 2 weeks before, where they started saying, people started running in the back, and you seen how like these people had jumped on the counter. That video, when you go back and look 10 months ago at the video where the people are jumping the counter from 2 weeks before the whole Dolph thing. So you never really heard of the store needing to be remodeled or anything like that. Matter of fact, they opened a whole brand new shop instead of remodeling the cookie shop. And so it don't add up, the fact that they had to actually start remodeling as soon as everything happened with Dolph. That's the only thing that makes sense. So it's like, were they quick to actually clean everything up and sweep everything up? Because for the fact that they said he got there and he wasn't even inside the store when it happened. They said the owner wasn't there when he pulled up, but everybody's saying that he was there. And the story that she told was the fact that he was like there saying, "Stay with me," like on the ground and everything like that. So is that to maybe cover the tracks of like what they could have moved around or what they could have hid and made it to where once they remodeled, everything was like they weren't going to be able to find out about it? So that's one thing you got to ask, because allegedly everybody's saying that, hey, that something happened inside the shop, not outside the shop. When you look at how the glass fell forward and the whole thing with the arm, like, you got to understand that that has to relate to the same way that the damage was done on the ceiling. And so there wouldn't be no damage on the ceiling. You got to remember that somebody, even the sign got hit. And so how could the sign get hit? How could the ceiling get hit when everything was being pointed low? So that's one thing that you got to understand. So it's really something behind all this, and that they patched up and repainted the whole areas. And so you got to really understand that this could have been done to where it's covering a lot of tracks. And so now you got to understand, when did this all start? So you got to remember, as soon as Dolph hopped in his car and he was leaving, people said they seen Moneybagg Yo, whether he was in his one of his cars. It was a black and white and everything. So what y'all got to understand is that that's the time, as soon as he was leaving that gas station, where everything began. Like, they said that Dolph was in the yellow shirt for 2 days. And then when they did the interview, when the family spoke and they said the message to the news, they told him that they hadn't seen Dolph in 2 days. So it's like, how could he come and get the cookies if he was gone for 2 days? Who is he bringing him back for if he ain't been back home in 2 days? So what you got to understand is that all the people that was following him, that's when everything began, because they were planning on getting the keys and all that. And that's when they did it at the clinic. And they still haven't put the video out of him walking up and pulling into the driveway of the cookie shop. So because of that, that's how you know that they ended up following him and literally got the tow truck and brought that to the cookie shop. And that's how they got it away. It's the same tow truck they use for straight dropping them's car and all of that. So not only that, but you got to understand that it's really like straight drop cousin or big homie G, whoever he hangs with. That's one of the people that's tied to Moneybagg Yo. So Moneybagg could have definitely talked to one of them allegedly, and he had to have known. Like, you can't say Moneybagg doesn't know. He knows exactly who his artists hang out with, and so all that stuff comes back to him. That's why everybody's saying, it's like, why was his car used? Why would they use his car? Why is his Bentley there? Why does he have his Corvette out too, following Dolph's Corvette? Like, somebody had already seen that in the parking lot. And so the fact that whatever happened where he was in the yellow shirt for the second day, that's when They ended up that night taking everything to the cookie shop. And then the next morning, you already see everything going on. The commotion started right at like around 9 a.m. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment down below.